Okay, here's a quick screencast on the basic rules of giant slalom racing here in USSA. First thing I'd like to show you is a quick video of Ted Ligety. This is a video of Ted Ligaty's first race this year. Okay, watch this, you'll see just basic giant slalom race. This happened to be a pretty important race for Ted Ligety. It's his first race of the season. And you can see the snow is pretty new. It's kind of fresh. He's trying out some brand new skis, which were brand new this year, and the rules changed for giant slalom. He complained a lot about this last year, but he had a really good run. You can see he's already up. Now, it's mostly left and right turns, giant slalom, pretty basic skiing. You make a turn at each gate, the red gates and the blue gates. Now, every once in a while, you'll see there's a set of gates where he doesn't turn. He'll go through two of them in a row. It's coming up soon. He'll go through a red and a blue without making a turn. That's called a delay or an undergate, and it's coming up pretty soon here. Just keep your eyes open for it. Okay, here it is, right there. Red, followed by blue, and then finally a red returns again. So that's called the delay. We'll look at that in a few minutes on the magic chalkboard. And here he is skiing through the last few gates to the finish. Generally the last few gates should lead you toward the center of the finish line. You can see that big gate there in red is the finish line. The last two blue gates right there is the end. And now he's down. He's gone through the finish and he's in the finish corral. Okay. So that is a giant slalom race. Now let's look at some of the rules of giant slalom as it applies to we call it correct passage. Every race starts here in the start gate. The start gate is where the start wand is. It's a little plastic strip of plastic which you have to push open. You push your way through. It's like a little gate. And then you have to pass through all these other sets of red and blue sticks, which we call gates. They're called gates because in the old days, you can imagine a line drawn in between each one of these that would indicate what you had to go through as if it was literally a doorway. And then you would ski through, passing through each doorway on your way towards the bottom of the hill. What happened lately, though, is partly to save money and partly for other reasons, we've decided to get rid of the outside gates, which you call the ones that were out here. And we don't change how you ski through them, but we only put two gates at the top and at the bottom, the beginning and last gate. And also later on you'll see these things called delay gates. They put two panels in. So we're missing the outside panels now. So we've changed the rules a little bit about what you have to go through in order to be a legal passage. What we have now is we have these little lines which we draw. So we draw a line between the we call the turning gates. You have to cross that line. So let's draw a different color here so you can see it a little better. That blue line you have to cross, and this blue line you have to cross. Cross that blue line and cross that blue line. And so you can see my green path I've taken does cross that line each time. And this is the way you have to negotiate the course to legally cross each line. Cross, cross. And if any lines you don't cross, then you have to go back and cross them. So let's say that perhaps you make a mistake and you miss a gate. So now you start skiing perhaps in this path right here, and then you accidentally miss the red gate here. So you actually crossed the line between the red and the blue. This is legal now. But what you have to do is somehow cross this line between these two gates, which means you have to walk back up and somehow cross that line. Now it doesn't matter which direction you cross it. You can cross it in this direction, or you can cross it in this direction. That's another rule in giant slalom. It doesn't matter what direction you cross these lines in. So let's say, let's go back here a little bit here. So let's say you start out going this way, and you decide, oh, I've missed the gate. I could go around here, cross that gate, and then I could go around this one and get back on course. You literally have to circle around in order to make it legal. So for instance, let's say I go down here, I missed this gate, so now I've got to go up and around it now, and now I can ski the rest of the way. Okay, I've already crossed that once when I went the wrong way. So let's say you can cross, let's go through two different ways. Let's try a different path. Let's say we go this way again. We missed the gate, but we decided instead of going underneath it, we decided to go up around it. That's also legal. So that would also be another way of getting around those gates legally. But what it all amounts to is you pretty much have to, if you make a mistake, you pretty much have to go around the gate and start again. Right? You have to circle the gate. That's basically the best way to hike. This is called hiking. So if you have to go around the gate, we call it hiking. All right? So if you miss it. All right, so let's look at the next little element. This is the interesting one called the delay gate. So now here's the path that we would take to follow through it. We would go around just like we normally do, but instead of going over the top of this one and going this way, which would kind of leave us in no man's land because the course isn't over here, right? It's over here. So what we are instead supposed to do is go this way, and then we would go through this thing here called the undergate or delay gate, and then we get back on course again. Now, it is a little weird because this is a change. This is different. The rule is different all of a sudden. Now we have to go through these things. And so sometimes we'll call this an undergate because we'll tell the kids that they go over the top of the blue but under that red, and then back over the top of the blue and back over the top of the red. Now the reason it's called the delay is because it changes the rhythm of the course. If you just watch it again, we're making quick turns, right, left, right, left, right. So we're making shorter turns, and then all of a sudden it's a much longer turn, and that does change the rhythm of the course. Now what commonly happens is that kids will ski over the top of that and they'll get disqualified. They have to go through the gate, that line between the two reds, even though it does seem that what they're doing now is more difficult to go above the red. This is not, we call it correct passage. They do have to cross this line between the two reds. This is the case only for what we call vertical gates, or the delay gates or the under gates. All the other ones you go around them left and right, but this one you've got to go through. So we spend a lot of time with the kids inspecting the course and explaining this to them. But basically, if you think about it as a big doorway, we're going around the gates, then we have to go through the doorway, and then we continue the course. And so, we'll tell the kids that this is a big door, like a window, and we have to go right through it. But again, you definitely don't want to do this. This is the worst thing that could happen, thinking it's a right, left, right, and then go right, and all of a sudden you're over here and you got to ski all the way around there and to start the course again. That would be skiing uphill. Okay, so that's a delay. Now the finish. The finish is pretty basic. You're going to be going back and forth, and then this last gate should head you straight through to the finish. This is the finish gate right here. The time will stop when you cross this gate. When you come into the finish area, you would then walk out with all your equipment out here, and you would finish the race. But the time stops when you cross that line. Okay, so that's the finish. So that's basic GS, more or less the basic rules, and I hope that helped a little bit for you.